Hello everyone. In this session we'll discuss gradient, divergence and curl. So let's start with the divergence and curl. Let's start with the first one. It says for a real valued scalar function small f, we'll try to keep scalar function as small f and vector function as capital F. So let's say we have a real valued scalar function in three-dimensional vector space. Then the gradient of f, which can also be given as del f, is actually df by dx for I, df by dy for j, and df by dz for k. So this is del, and this del is given as I cap d by dx plus j cap d by dy and k cap d by dz. So these are the components of this del operator or nebula, and this is how the gradient is given, and this is nothing but at any point, let's say P, grade f, that is gradient of f, points in the direction of greatest change of the field f, right? So basically, just imagine that there's a mountain in front of you and think of the steepest slope at some point, right? Think of a steepest slope at some point. Then that is the direction in which the gradient will actually be directed, and its magnitude has a magnitude equal to the rate of change of the field with respect to distance in that direction. Distance in that direction. Also, this gradient, grade f, is normal to a surface of constant field, right? It can be used, this gradient can be used to find the normal at some point of the surface. Other than that, Like we said that gradient will be directed in the steepest slope. Then if you want to find this gradient in some particular direction, then we will have to project the gradient vector in that direction in which we want it to be, right? And that is what is the directional derivative. So it can be given as projection of grade f in a particular direction, let's say a cap, right? And this is actually directional derivative. So this directional derivative is given as gradient of the field into, that is the dot product. Now that we know that this gradient is going to be a vector field, we are going to do a dot product with the directional field provided, right? We find a gradient of a scalar field, but the gradient of that scalar field is going to be a vector. And in sense, if you want to know the projection in some particular direction, let's say a cap, so this a cap is going to be a unit vector in the direction of a, which is given by vector a divided by the magnitude. So we'll do the dot product of gradient with that unit vector a to get the directional derivative, right? So let's move to the next one, which is divergence. We find this divergence for a vector field. So I'll say divergence of a vector field, capital F, I'm writing it as capital F, is given by divergence of a vector field F is given by del dot F, which is the dot product of d by dx as your I component plus d by dy for j component and d by dz k component into, let's say this vector field, let's say this vector field is having components f1 I plus f2 j plus f3 k. Then this is nothing but df1 by dx plus df2 by dy plus df3 by dz, right? So this is the divergence, which is also given as divergence of f. Like in the previous case, it was gradient of f. Now, in this case, when we have divergence f is equal to 0, then f is known to be incompressible or solenoidal. So this incompressible comes when we are talking about fluids, which you'll be seeing in fluid mechanics if it is in your course. and solenoidal if you are into electricals, like that. Basically, divergence being zero means whatever field is entering into certain area or certain element is the same which is coming out of it. So this is zero divergence, right? In case we want a positive divergence, then it is like field coming out of it. So this is positive divergence. And in case the field is entering into it, then we say it is a negative divergence, right? So think of this shower, that fluid is coming out of it, so that can be considered to be a positive divergence, whereas that sink from where the water is going out of your washroom or somewhere, that is having a negative divergence. But if you think of a pipe, then whatever at any element, whatever, like when the water is flowing, whatever element of water is entering from that element is the same which is coming out of that element, right? So that can be considered to be a zero divergence, correct? Next is, now we know that we have done two of things. Gradient is for a scalar field and gradient is a vector field. Divergence is found for a vector field, but divergence is a scalar field. But this curl is found for a vector field, and it is itself also a vector field. So let's say we have this for a field, again capital F, let's say equal to F1 I component plus F2 J component plus F3 K component. Then this curl F, which is also given as del cross F, is nothing but I J K dx dy dz as F1, F2 and F3. So it is found for a vector field, and is it itself, it is a vector field. Also, if we have curl for any field equal to 0, then we say it is in the sense is f is said to be irrotational. So a linear movement is having zero curl, or you can say it is not having any rotational moment. Whereas if you again think of your sink, the water, when you see a bulk of water going inside, you'll see there is a rill forming, right? In this sense, so you can see that there is a rill forming at your sink, and that is actually nothing but the rotational movement of that fluid flowing. So in that case, you can see that the curl will be zero, non-zero. The curl will be non-zero, or it will be a rotational field, right? Also, we'll come across a topic in further vector calculus, that is Green's theorem, or maybe in the Stokes theorem also we'll see that once the curl of a field is zero, then that field becomes conservative, or you can say the line integral over the closed path will be zero. So once this field is irrotational, this field will also become conservative, or you can say the line integral over a closed path for it will become zero, right? Stokes theorem will tell you how it is happening. As of now, we can just keep a note of it. Also, we can find divergence of gradient let's say a field f, and it is possible when this field is double differentiable. Obviously we are going to do a partial differentiation of this f with respect to x, y and z for gradient, but when we start doing the divergence we are going to repeat that derivatives, so we are going to double derivative it. This can be given as divergence of the gradient. This will become, we can directly write this will become d2f by dx square plus d2f by dz square plus d2, sorry, this is y square plus d2f by dz square. What we can also note here is this is the Laplacian of f. If required, you'll see it somewhere else also. Next is curl of gradient of f. So this curl of gradient of f, small f means it is a scalar, will be actually 0. This is always going to be 0, and this actually implies that gradient fields are irrotational. So this gradient field is irrotational, and this also tells you, once we are into line integral we'll see this, that if a vector field which is a gradient of some scalar field small f, then this f is known to be potential function. F is known to be potential function, and this f is given as conservative field. We'll see that. And so this irrotational is related with conservative. And now once this is having like a gradient, a field which is a gradient of some field, some potential function small f, then it is always conservative. So obviously it has to be irrotational, because conservative is irrotational is conservative. Next is divergence of curl. So again, which can be given as divergence of curl will always be 0. That is flux or the fluid movement of curl of a smooth vector field f through any closed surface is always 0. Right? And this is why we'll get the divergence of the curl to be 0. We also have to make a mark, a note of that this we have to make a note that this divergence and curl are both linear. So we can apply the linearity for divergence and curl. Like if you are trying to find divergence of two different wheels of two different fields and you are adding it, you can add the fields and then you can find the divergence, right? And other properties also. Also, so you can see some points, that is, once the divergence is 0, it is solenoidal or incompressible. Once the curl is 0, it is irrotational or conservative. And once the gradient is 0, it is a constant. Because gradient of a field is 0 means it must be constant, so that the first derivative with respect to x, y and z are 0. Now we can see the questions.